2 videos in a row about 2 absolute degenerate artists. I will be shocked, I mean literally astounded, if this video will survive longer than a day before YouTube snipes it. Anyway, Glitched Puppet, also known as PurpleKecleon, is a furry webcomic artist, who became known in the mid-2000s for spamming boards with Pokemon and Sonic porn. She also contributed to Cub porn magazines. If you don't know what Cub is, be thankful and never research it ever. She draws a lot of sexual furry art, a lot of it weird fetish porn. I of course, can't show you any of this. Sex is seemingly Puppet's entire existence, being a center of a polyamorous relationship, despite being asexual according to herself. She also has admitted to having fetishes that cover incest and shotacon, to having abused a real dog. I don't think I have to tell you, that none of these are fetishes. Anyhow, Puppet as PurpleKecleon would become known on DeviantArt by being in an administration position of a group called Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers, which was run by her husband Marl, and Evie her boyfriend, and a larger group of people, all of whom she had multiple fallouts with. Instead of being the family-friendly role-play group the group was advertised as, it quickly became a fetish den, which involved characters literally being sexually abused. Purple and Marl even rigged their own contest so a sock puppet would win. And Purple's Mary Sue fucking a child and also using a read more prompt to redirect people to Purple's porn Tumblr page. To play it safe, I can't show you a lot of this, so I won't. What a wonderful group of degenerates. Really gotta think people with a husband and boyfriend, running a Pokemon role-playing group are normal functional members of human civilization and not in any way degenerates. How could such a thing be an even slight possibility? Of course, groups of people like this are always volatile and multiple members got into arguments with Purple. After this degenerate group of losers dissolved into nothingness, Purple and Marl pursued their own original project, Floraverse. Of course, considering the pattern so far, you can't have a second family-friendly project, without also turning it into a weird porn thing too. There's so much to go into with the Floraverse thing that if I tried to explain the plot it'd end up making what I already hope isn't too long a video, into a probably 5-hour-long video on this segment alone. So I've left a link to the Bad Webcomics wiki page for this awful comic. I would leave a link to the thread I got pretty much all of the info from, but odds are YouTube would censor it like they did in the Toro video. So, what else does Puppet do? Well, Puppet and Marl have quite the few spurgouts. Again, there's just so much to show that I would end up being here for hours, so I'll link everything I can in the description. There was also a point in which a user named Lane posted on the Kiwi Farms thread about Puppet, that Marl, Puppet's husband, tried to groom her when she was 13, in a Floraverse chat room, to have sex with both Marl and Marl's dog. There was nothing to prove these accusations, and Puppet, Marl, and Evie's reaction had prepared a shitstorm. Puppet did her best to defend Marl, and insisted that Lane's story never actually happened and was a fabrication, and then she tried to frame Lane as someone who would try to get older men in trouble as a child. Puppet claimed to have logs that would prove such claims, and that she would provide them, but she never did. Again, there's so much here, that I'll leave links to everything in the description. Christ almighty, why do I do this to myself? After changing her username from PurpleKecleon to Glitched Puppet, as a rebrand after controversies, she would continue making porn comics of rape, bestiality and children. Despite being told to tag her shit better and hide it, she wouldn't ever do so, and kept her artwork available to everyone. I'm sure it's because she wants people to read her garbage webcomic and realize they're gay and or trans, because that's normal and not fucking insane in any way. According to Puppet, this was cool because it helped kids figure out who they were. Instead of discussing the work on Floraverse, Puppet and her 2 morons would just discuss stupid shit like how unintentionally misgendering someone is violence, and again a lot more stuff. But in 2018, logs of Marl trying to groom a minor named Big Fluffy to fuck him and his dog were leaked. He was aware this person was a minor and was sending them sexually explicit images too. It turns out Marl is active in the degenerate dens of zoophiles, pimping out his poor dog, and even told the minor that he could introduce her to his prostitute friend if she was interested in an escort gig. The minor even visited this sick fucker to help out with the Floraverse merchandise store, and the kid was subjected to Puppet, in the nude. Marl also confirms Puppet is also a pedophile. After the minor left, Marl would pester the child to return and have sex with him. There's so much here, and again it's all linked in the description. It's so gross. 2 days after the logs were leaked, Puppet claimed to be leaving the internet forever, locking her Twitter account, but also claims they were fake and part of some campaign to harass Marl and her. Evie, the boyfriend of the weird pedo-animal abuser trio, claims he believes the logs were edited but cannot prove it. They then put up their home for sale and left the state. Evie then broke his silence, claiming the Kiwi Farms killed the Floraverse project in a Patreon blog post, yet the Patreon remained active, collecting monthly payments. Months later, Puppet would return to Twitter. In July of 2018, Puppet would announce she would be divorcing her husband Marl after months of nothing. She also published some sort of apology written by Marl, in which he admits to being an animal rapist but only in fantasy, and that the logs were edited to make him look worse than he truly is, though it seems like Puppet had some influence on what he wrote, as she is mentioned 27 times and it's framed to make her look like she knew nothing. But then in 2020, logs would again be leaked, proving Puppet was aware of disgusting animal abuse. She would return to Marl's apology, editing it with her commentary after this. The trio of Marl, Puppet and Evie would change their legal names after this as well. Puppet and Evie would abandon Marl in Arkansas and flee to Colorado. They would post about how they fear for their lives, just to then publicly tweet about where they were. They were promptly doxxed. After divorcing Marl, Puppet would still continue that she believed both the Kiwi Farms user, Lane, and Big Fluff, the minor in the 2018 leaks, were liars, and how Puppet was the only true victim of Marl. She claims Marl was the only predator in the home, yet refused to contact the proper authorities. She claimed to have the facts, yet never posted any evidence that disproved anything. There's also plenty instances of manipulation and inconsistencies with her claims on the matters at hand, which you can read here. After this, Floraverse would tank in popularity. Puppet had gone essentially insane, shitting out barely legible MS Paint comics, and would create a game with Evie called Cherry Kisses, in which you would run a sex shop that a minor would try to shut down. The Floraverse Discord was then remade, this time as a way for people to essentially get really bad therapy sessions. Also, after her divorce with Marl, she quickly found someone to replace him by the name of Axie. She also has infested her house with designer cats with insane amounts of health problems. She and Evie bathe with the cats too. So yeah, these people are all gross degenerates, and I need bleach to clean my insides. I've linked pretty much everything from the thread in my description. I've got nothing funny to say, this is all just super gross and weird and ew. Anyway, that's all from me. I hope if you subjected yourself to all of this, you have a wonderful time going forward. Good night, stay healthy, and always giggle at silly shit.